Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Abby and the Reads. Today we are going to be going through all of the books that I'm in the middle of, and it's a little bit of a hefty list considering that I'm in the middle of these books. Now I will say some of these books are books that I have picked up and just set down. They are not all books that I am currently actively reading. So let's get into it. Alright, the first book that we're going to be talking about today is Ninth House. I am going to pick up this book again, but it's probably not going to be until the fall. You can see that I've made it about almost half of the way through this book, almost half. But it just is a book that I put down and haven't picked back up yet. And I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I think I have just a little bit of a hard time with dark academia vibes. They sound like it would be right up my alley, but sometimes I just have a harder time getting into these books. This book is about Alex, who gets offered a scholarship after something terrible happens to her. And it's because she can see certain ghosts, I believe it is. And that is beneficial to the secret society that they want her to be in at Yale, I believe it is. I think it's so. I think it's at Yale. So it sounds really cool. It sounds really spooky. I'm really excited to read this in the fall time. I will be finishing this year. All right, the next book that I am in the middle of, which I will be forcing myself to finish soon because I just want to be a part of the emotionally devastated group of people who love this book, is Alchemized. I have made it to part 2, not quite halfway, but again, it's just such heavy content with this book. I think I just have a little bit of a hard time reading it, and again, it reads kind of scholarly. That's not the right word that I'm looking for, but I want to be a part of the group. I want to be a part of the group that love this book. I am just having a little bit of a hard time getting through it, but I will make it through it because I want to read this book. I want to understand everybody that really enjoys this book, and I think once I get into the part 2 of this book and really dive deeper into that, I will like this book a lot more. So I'm going to be reading this book soon. The next one that I have that I actually I've talked about before. I talked about it in my book series that I'm in the middle of, and I actually decided to cut this off my list, so we're going to actually cut it off of the list of books that I'm in the middle of as well, is Goldfinch. I've made it about halfway through that book as well, and I just don't think that I'm going to finish it. It's just something that I am not as interested in anymore. The story is just getting to the point where unfortunately, I'm kind of bored with it, which is sad to say because I love the first 3 or 4 books in that series, and I probably will reread those books at some point in time, but I just don't think I'm going to continue on and finish the series. I could be convinced otherwise if you guys tell me that it's worth it, but as of right now, that is not a book that I feel like I'm going to finish. So that book is actually going to be cut off my list. The next book on my list is Diary Bound. I just started listening to this book, and I actually ran out of Spotify listening hours, so that is why I stopped being in the middle of that book. That is a book that I do plan on picking back up again whenever I get some more Spotify listening hours, after I listen to Every Summer After, which I'm really excited about. I'm listening to that right now. I'm almost finished with it. But back to Diary Bound. Diary Bound is about Marin, who never thought about being bonded to dire wolves, but she gets bonded to these dire wolves. This is not something she wanted because her sister goes missing, and that is what she is trying to focus on finding her sister, and the story just follows her relationship with somebody in the book, getting bonded to dire wolves and trying to find her sister. I haven't finished the rest of the book, so I don't know anything else about it. All of that was on the synopsis, so none of it is a spoiler. but it is something that I am looking forward to picking back up. I will say I was getting just a little bit bored. I was feeling like it was just a little bit long of a story. Things were kind of starting to slow down. It was kind of a pacing problem. They're starting to slow down and then pick back up, and then slow down and then pick back up. And I just feel like it could be a little bit shorter, but it's a good time. I'm having a good time reading it. It is I think that it is a kind of a cool premise. So I'm excited to read this, continue listening to this story. The next book is Throne of Nightmares. I am so excited about this book. I don't know if it's called the Prince of Sin series, but I love this series by Kerri Maniscalco. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I love this series by her. I picked it up. I got about 50 to 100 pages in, and I'm just not in the right headspace to read it right now. I think I'm more into the Summery Lake kind of stories. I say that, but I'm also right now in the middle of A Curse for True Love. Different story, but I don't want this to be a case of right book, wrong time, and me to not enjoy it as much as I would like to, because I really love this series. I love the first two books. I know that there are some mixed reviews on the second book, as not as many people like it as much as they like the first book, but I personally have loved both books, and I'm excited to read the third one. I don't want to push myself to read it too soon, because I'm not in the right headspace for that kind of a book right now. One of the books that I am in the middle of is Fate of the Sun King. This short and simple version of this is I just read too many books in this series, and I just kind of got bored of the story, but I am planning on going back to this series, so I will start with this book. I just kind of got a little ways into this book and just was ready for something else. I was ready for something new, so I kind of moved on from this series. But it is something I'm planning on going back to. I think this series is called A Trial by the Sun Queen or something like that. The first book revolves around this girl who was in a prison, and then she gets kidnapped by a prince, and then she has to fight in these trials to win the prince's heart or to marry him. So it's a really cool premise. I really enjoyed it, but it is something that I am looking forward to going back to. You guys might kill me for the next one, possibly, maybe, because I don't think I'm going to continue reading it. I think it's going to be a DNF, but the Atlas 6. Oh, I hate saying that out loud. I know that's such a cult favorite, but I was just bored. Honestly, I was just bored of the story. I started listening to it, and I don't know if it was because I was listening to it or if I should be reading it physically, but I was just so bored. Which is sad, and again, this is another dark academia book. I just don't know, which is weird because I like thrillers, I like horror, I like reading all of that stuff, so you would think that dark academia would be right up my alley, but I just don't think that it's me and dark academia. There are certain books that me and them don't mesh well together, and this is one of those books. I just don't think that I'm going to finish it, so I think we're going to go ahead and cut this one off my list. A House of Flame and Shadow. I am going to finish this book, just like I'm going to finish reading the entire Throne of Glass series this year, and I'm going to finish reading the Crescent series, this is the last book in the Crescent City series. But House of Flame and Shadow is the third book in the Crescent City series. It follows Bryce, Quenolin, and Hunt Athalar, and I really am liking this book. I don't know why I'm struggling with it so much. I think part of it has to do with it's just changing POVs so often that it kind of makes me mad. So that this story is just kind of frustrating me for some reason, and I don't know why, but I am going to finish it because I think once I actually finish the book, once I look back at the book itself, I will have enjoyed it. Now, is it going to be a 5-star for me? No, it's taken me too long of a time to get through this book for it to be a 5-star. Is it going to be like a solid 3 to 4-star? Absolutely. It's hard to give Sarah J. Maas anything less than a 4-star, maybe a 3-star, but probably a 4, just because I do like the story. I do like where it's going, and I want to know the ending, but it's just frustrating me, and I have no other explanation other than that. All right, this book is a book that I originally DNF'd, but I DNF'd it at like 70%, and I have thought about this book for a long time. It was also on my series I'm in the middle of, and I talked about it a little bit, so I'm not going to go too much in depth with it, but it is Kiss of the Basilisk. I just think about this book so often that I feel like I need to finish it. I need to know what happened. I didn't Google what happened or anything like that, so I just want to finish it to know what happens at the end of the book. I know I could Google it, but I just made it so far into the book that at this point I'm kind of like, just finish reading it. So the main character in this book, the reason I DNF'd it was the main character in this book seemed really two-faced to me. She made me really angry, which I think is really kind of on par with some of the other reviews for this book, but I just need to know. I just need to know what happens. So we are going to continue with Kiss of the Basilisk, and we are going to finish reading it. Heartless Hunter. I am in the middle of Heartless Hunter. I made it about 30% of the way in, and I just haven't finished it. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just I think it was another case of right book, wrong time. This is a book that I've heard a lot about, and I do really want to read it. It's another favorite of a lot of people, and it is I've heard really, really good reviews about it, but it is just another case of right book, wrong time. So I'm going to be picking this up. I think this might be a fall book for me. I think I'm going to be more, right now, focused on more summery books. I say that, and I'm in the middle of a book that it's not high fantasy, but it's fantasy. And I think that fantasy is not going to be the move for the summer for me. I think I'm going to start a summer ween book vlog soon, so we will see where that takes us. But right now, Heartless Hunter, it just wasn't for me at the time. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This book is such a cool premise. It is a prequel to the Divine Rival series, and you follow some of the gods that are mentioned in the Divine Rival series. You follow Matilda and Vincent and their story, and it is just such a unique premise that I'm not going to go too much into. It's just a case of I picked this book up and I set it down and I haven't picked it back up again, but I'm going to, because the story just really hooked me, and I'm going to continue reading it. But again, I'm just not in a super fantasy mood, so I'm just not going to be picking it up right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and just mention them because I'm in the middle of them, but they are my current reads, so they're books that I plan on finishing right now. A Curse for True Love. I am in the middle of A Curse for True Love. I'm about 50 something percent of the way in, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't think there's ever wrong time for Stephanie Garber's writing. That's the word I'm looking for Stephanie Garber's writing. It is just so magical and whimsical. It is about the only fantasy book that I really want to read right now. Everything else that I'm wanting to read is very summery, very thrillery. I'm stuck between summer and thriller books right now because I really want to do Summerween, and I think I'm going to vlog trying to do Summerween. But this is the only kind of fantasy book that I'm really kind of interested in reading right now. And once I get through with this book, I'm going to probably start leaning more into like summery reads, like Every Summer After, which is a book that I am also in the middle of. I am loving it. I would say I'm not even in the middle of it. I've got about an hour left on my audiobook, and I want to finish it so badly. I am loving this book, and I want to watch the movie so bad. I might do a watch party or like a watch with me video. I don't know how to do that, but we may do something along those lines because I am loving this book and I love the story. I love the second chance romance. I'm not usually a second chance romance girl, but I am loving the second chance romance in Every Summer After. It's so sweet, and I love the back and forth between the present day and the past day, and it is giving me major, obviously Every Summer After, it's just giving me major summer vibes, and I am loving it so much. Okay guys, so that is every book that I'm in the middle of. I know I cut a couple of these books off of my list, but most of these books are books that I plan on continuing reading at some point in time. They're books that I want to get off my list of books that I'm in the middle of, but that is the list of books that I plan on continuing soon. If you have any books that you think that I should start, or any books that you think I should prioritize over the other, give me a comment. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Have a good day.